San Francisco 49ers and fifth-year wide receiver Brandon Aiyuk are at a crossroads. What should be the future for the number one wide receiver on the San Francisco 49ers? Mike and Wayne will discuss today on No Harm, No Foul.
Yo, what's good, bro?
What's going on, baby Bubba?
Back, second day in a row, back, no harm, no foul, back. We get to talk some bad.
To bad or not to bad?
To bad or not to bad?
That is the question. Did you understand what that was from?
Of course I understood
To
Shakespeare.
be or not to be.
I didn't think I was that slow. I
not. I was asking for the people, not just you. Like, so we gotta, you know.
Okay, bro. I just want to put that out there. Like, I didn't think I was, you know, because you said, did you understand it? And I'm like, duh. Like, yeah. Duh.
Listen, bro. How you feeling? You feeling any better? I heard you went to the gym today.
Yeah, I went. It took me a lot longer than it normally would have. You know what I'm saying? So I went to the gym and I told him I quit. So listen, I'm gonna quit and I'm coming back and do this on my own pace at some point once I get my health right. But I was in there, got a nice you know what I realized worked best for me is when I'm doing like a total body workout opposed to targeting. So like like whenever I target, I just gain weight for some reason. I don't get it. Like I gain weight, you got to eat different too, because now you know. But when I do the total body workout, like I'm working maybe one leg workout, working one muscle, and just doing a full body joint. I don't know, for some reason it kind of shreds me. I think that's where I
could see that. I could see that because like if I'm in there just doing curls and like chest, I feel like my legs ain't really doing nothing, so I'm not
right.
But if I'm doing head to toe, if I go in there and I'm on the treadmill for a little bit and then I go and do a couple bench press and some butterflies, then all of a sudden it's like I feel like I worked everything. Everything's burning, the blood's flowing evenly and it's shredding as opposed to just.
And for my body, that's what it wants. I tried their way. So the thing was I tried my way and I was good. And I was like, let me try their way. You know what I'm saying? Get the trainer. Great trainer. Nothing against him. I realized I still got like 16 sessions paid in the books. I got to use them joints. And so then, and there's no love lost to him. It was just more like my body needs the different total workout. So like, yeah. So I'm gonna get back to the full body workouts, man. And cardio, like, cardio in the beginning. I like to do HIIT too. So like I do HIIT, cardio, and then it's full body workout for me, dog.
What's HIIT?
So HIIT is high intensity interval training. So it's like you're pushing, it's like extra cardio, but you're pushing your body, using your body weight to do workout for a certain amount of time. So you're going really hard for like 45 seconds, like all you could do, and then you're gonna get like 20 seconds off, and you just do it for the duration, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, however you like to do it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I know when I was going to the gym, I couldn't do the the joint where you pop yourself up and you gotta do the squat. They're not squats, what they call like when you go all the way down, push yourself back up and down. What is that called?
That's like a squat, right? Pop squat.
Is it a squat with your arms? It's not your legs, like your arms up in the air.
Oh, the tricep extensions? Oh no.
You go up like that.
Oh yeah, tricep extensions.
The dips.
Well, I call them tricep. Oh, you mean dips when you? Yeah. That's the upper body, bro, man.
I couldn't do a single one of them. Like,
bro, them joints is tough.
So I found a little machine. It's got like a bench, and you put your knees on it, and it's like spring loaded, so it helps. It's like an assist.
And then you put
I did that. I did that for like a week, And I was like, all right, cool. And then I went and did it on my own. And I was doing like 5 of them joints by myself. I was like, oh, I was like hype. I was celebrating, like, I got this. I did it.
That's dope.
So yeah. And then I stopped going to the gym again. So,
Well, um, the players aren't going to the gym right now because the league year is about to end soon, and the new league year is going to begin in March. And the 49ers, they're going to have their fair share of free agents. And then there's a player that they, 50-year option named Brandon Aiyuk. And so, when you ask this question, like, it just sounds like a no-brainer, right? Like the 49ers should definitely find a way to extend Brandon Aiyuk. And so then
mm-hmm.
I think, do you let me ask you this, Mike. Do you think the shenanigans that happened after the Super Bowl, you got the best friend posting, you got the girlfriend posting, and then you got him in his exit interview saying what he said, you
Can
know.
you bring me up to speed? I saw the best friend / brother.
Okay. And
I
so the
saw those
girlfriend
comments.
posted about, not returning, that this being his last game in San Francisco. And I wanted to say to
The
her,
girlfriend said that.
yeah, but I wanted to respond, but it wasn't going to be nice because I would have said technically his last game was in Las Vegas. That's me. That I didn't want to offend anybody because BA was tight, and I don't feel like getting into a verbal war with a player that can't beat my ass. So, like, that's kind of like how I was looking at that situation. I left it alone. I don't attack that. And then but it was more like, what did Brandon Aiyuk say? I had the quote at one point. It was in his exit interview, and they asked him about playing here, and he was like basically he said if it'll be, it'll be, or something like that. But that's not what he
Mm-hmm.
said. But it was kind of like, if they have me, it was something weird.
Well, okay, so let's get technical here. He was drafted in 2020, which means that
2020
the Niners have him with the 5th-year option through 2024 season. So this will be his 5th year coming up.
going into the 5th year, correct? They
Right.
already
So
exercised the option
right. So they
for
already have his rights.
$14.1 million.
Right. Yeah. Which he's worth, by the way. I think, like, just on a dollar per basis, I think he's worth that. Um, but the question is whether or not he's going to be here. Unfortunately, we have entered the 2020s of contract negotiation, which starts with social media clips and sound bites and tweets saying, I'm not going to be there. Or if they don't want me, let's get this money type of thing. And that's where we are. So it starts with the brother saying, oh man, we out of here. How you got your number 1 wide receiver, only 3 catches in the Super Bowl, and blah 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 blah. You'll get the girlfriend saying, yeah, this is his last time suiting up for San Francisco. And I don't know what he said, but he should have said something along the lines of, it's out of my hands. Like, whatever happens this coming year, I don't have any control over it. So we'll just
It
see what
was it
happens.
was
Like,
tough because it was emotional, right? Like Brandon Ayuk was feeling some type of way about the Super Bowl. I don't think he was in. I don't think he felt he was a part of the game plan. You go back and watch the film or the game, and you like, yeah, he clearly wasn't. Dude was
can
open a lot.
I have a whole thread. I was just gonna let this run and play in the background.
No, you're not. Mm-mm.
You don't want to do that?
Absolutely not. Those NFL clips.
All 22 clips.
Oh, if they're all 22 clips, that's different. But
Yeah,
but my
yeah.
but my point is, like, you know what I'm saying? Like that like he was feeling some type of way. Like, I mean, he literally almost broke down.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
And so, like, look, I'm more concerned about Brandon Ayuk not wanting to be here more than I am concerned about the 49ers extending him. I think the 49ers will try to extend him during their due diligence, but what speeds up that processing? Let me ask you this question. Do you think the 49ers will look to extend him like before the draft? I
Um,
feel like they've never done that before. And
I
that's
don't
what
think
makes
they.
me worry.
I don't think they should try to extend him before the draft. No, absolutely not.
So
Because you don't know who's going to fall to you in the draft. The Niners have a first round pick this year, and I'm not trying to be funny. It's business over everything.
correct.
I love Brandon Aiyuk.
These are all that's an
I
all 22 clip.
Yeah, these are all 22 clips. Like when they snap the ball and it zooms out so you can see everybody on the field. These are all 22s. Um,
I
but
thought they were
these
all together. You don't got to go through that. We ain't got time for that.
yeah. So but the point is that he was open a lot in this game, and again, he finished with 3 receptions. Right. He's clearly not. I don't want to say he's not the number 1 wide receiver on this team. Statistically, yes.
I disagree.
Targets, touches tell you a completely different story.
It told you that in that game, but I still think he's the number 1 wide receiver. He had the most targets on this team for this year.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was probably Christian McCaffrey number 2, but that's because the Niners were implementing the check down, which is about damn time, right? But I would think he's still the number 1 guy.
Brandon Aiyuk don't have games with double-digit targets. He's not the number 1. He's a good piece.
I don't think any player
really
on the
good piece.
49ers typically have double-digit targets. In this
Right.
game, Debo did, but I'm talking about just in general. Like, I don't think double-digit targets is going to happen when you got 5 to 6 pieces.
Mm-hmm. I agree. But what about 5 targets?
I know where you're going with this, though, but you know what I mean? Like, I know where you're going with this, but he's still the number 1 guy.
He's treated like a role player.
I think everybody's treated like a role player.
Not everybody. Kyle will go out of his. Nah, they don't manufacture touches for Debo.
Who do they manufacture touches
I'm
for?
sorry. I meant to say they don't manufacture touches for Aiyuk.
It's because of the way they use the wide receiver position. This is the argument that I've been having with everybody when I kept saying Debo was number 1 and Brandon Aiyuk. Oh no, Brandon Aiyuk's number. This was my argument. It's not about the position. You get what I'm saying?
No, I don't.
The reason why Debo's targets will be higher is because the way he might be able to catch a pass. He can catch a pass as the wide receiver running a route, or he can catch that 1-yard pass. They don't utilize Brandon Aiyuk like that. So yeah, his targets are going to be generally higher, but that makes him more of a weapon. Whereas Brandon Aiyuk is the best receiver on the San Francisco 49ers. He's been the best receiver since Terrell Owens. Like, let's just keep it a buck. But I don't think Kyle values the wide receiver position because he doesn't care about the wide receiver position. He needs you to play the role. He needs his wide receivers to play the role. This is why I think Brandon Aiyuk might be a bit frustrated and want out because he wants to be the best wide receiver in the league. I mean, you add Brandon Aiyuk's skill set, wingspan, catch radius, all that stuff, and you get him to a team that's going to target him. That's going to be a problem. I don't think Kyle values the wide receiver position like that.
That's what I said. That's exactly where I started. He's not valued as a wide receiver 1. He's valued as a wide receiver. Brandon Aiyuk is just as important to the success of a game as Juwan Jennings is. Think about that for a second.
Wait, say that again.
Brandon Aiyuk is just as valuable to the success of any given game as Juwan Jennings is. Okay. That should not be the case. That shouldn't be the case. Juwan Jennings isn't half the receiver that Brandon Aiyuk is.
There's I don't know. There's so many factors to that. Like there's so many ways I feel like you can look at that and break it down. Because when you look at Juwan Jennings, now you got a mismatch to me, opposed to Brandon Aiyuk not really being a mismatch. He's just a guy that can get open. Like it's a big difference. And when I talk about mismatch, I'm talking about you got a 6'5", 5'8", 5'9", 5'10" guy on a 6'3" guy. That's a mismatch. And when you line that guy up in the slot, 9 times out of 10, you feel comfortable going to that particular weapon. Plus, he's not going to be doubled. He's not going to be bracketed. He's not going to be nothing. It's yo, out physical this dude. I'm going to throw the ball to you. You get it. I think that's kind of where Juwan Jennings sits in, because if you put Jawan Jennings on another team, this is not a stray at him. He might not even be number 2 receiver there either. He may be. He's not going to be the number 1, because now he's going to have to really show what he can do lining up outside, lining up inside. Like, he's got to be able to show exactly what he can do. I think it gets a little bit different when you get the best man covering you, or the second best man covering you, opposed to the third best man covering.
Right.
So I think it changes a little bit. Like, I get what you talk about as far as value, but how do we know what Brock was comfortable or what he was told to do in that Super Bowl? It's weird because all year long it's been Brandon Aiyuk, but then we also saw spurts of them like infusing Jawan Jennings. And when you go back to the Super Bowl, Mike, I still can't explain the Super Bowl, because I still don't understand why Debo wasn't used properly. Like, if I'm Debo, I would be frustrated, but you can't be frustrated because they targeted you. But that ain't even Debo. Like, that hasn't been Debo since his rookie year, when he was literally the second guy after they got Emmanuel Sanders. It was weird.
Listen, I understand all parties involved, right? Me personally, I would not want to see Brandon Aiyuk go anywhere. At the same time, I would absolutely understand why the team would let him go, especially following the draft. If we go out there and get another guy that they feel can be Brandon Aiyuk-esque in the first or second round, there's no need to extend him that big money. We got to take advantage of
this. There's no wide receiver that the 49ers can get right now in this draft right here, that the 49ers, unless they trade up to a top 10 pick, and they're still not getting the best wide receiver in this draft at 10.
What are you trying to say, though?
So I wouldn't move on from a guy like Brandon Aiyuk when you have this proven commodity, because what's the whole point of drafting another guy?
Like, how many receptions did he have on the year? I mean, maybe I'm missing something, because
it doesn't matter about his receptions. It matters about the production after the receptions, right? So even with, let's say he had 70, he still had 1,300 yards.
Yeah, but if we're talking about 70 receptions, bro.
Yeah, but now you're going to draft. So who would you draft? So if I look, the only way I'm trading Brandon Aiyuk is if I know 75. I'm going to get a guy Marvin Harrison Jr.-esque. Like, you don't trade a number 1 wide receiver and then you go and get a number 7 wide receiver. Like, it doesn't make sense. Because like,
that's less than 5 receptions a game. It does make sense. You let him go.
You don't let him go.
He's not that guy. He's not that guy here.
Okay, now you changed it though. You just
this is what we're talking about.
No, I know, but you just said he's not that guy, and then you fixed it.
Well, yeah, because I think he's that guy. I'm talking. I've said it all along. He's that guy. I've said he's wide receiver 1. I've said this for 3 years now.
He's even on this team, he's still wide receiver 1.
And our wide receiver 1 in this Kyle Shanahan controlled, micromanaged system is less than 5 receptions a game. Let that walk. And you can get that production from a rookie. In a Kyle Shanahan run team, this number 1 wide receiver is not worth it.
Like I said, you could get the production from a rookie depending on which rookie you're drafting. You're talking about a guy that can get open. You're talking about a guy that can create separation. You talk about a guy that can do all these things. Now, that guy's going to cost money, but he might not cost money in 2024 for the 49ers if they extend him, because they'll find a way. It'll lower his number under the cap. His first year will be pretty much base pay with a signing bonus, and then the money factors won't kick into after Debo's gone. So it makes sense. It makes sense for the Niners to sign him.
What that mean after Debo ain't going nowhere?
Dude, I'm just saying his contract is up next year. So whether he gets an extension or not, that's something totally different.
Yeah, I see what you're saying with the contract coming up.
I'm just talking about
That's
like when it expires, and then now you're talking about when the next money factors kick in. Like Nick Bosa's some of his money gonna kick in this year. It didn't hurt the team last year because he extended, and so it didn't hurt the team. And it's not gonna hurt the team that much this year, but next year,
which is more of a reason to let BA go and get a rookie in here in his place.
I think they get a rookie. I think they get a rookie in here, period. And like I said, the only way you letting BA go, like again, when Brandon Aiyuk was a first round pick, there's only 3 wide receivers you're drafting in this first round. And on top of that, they're gonna be gone.
Well, not only that, it's I think the hang up is that we're looking to.
There's nobody on this team that's going to be able to replicate what Brandon Aiyuk does. So you're talking about far as receptions, and I'm talking about as far as production.
Okay. Even if we picked a guy number 3 overall as a wide receiver, Kyle's not letting him play. He's not letting him play. We saw what he did to Aiyuk his first year, bro.
No, Aiyuk played. It might have been by default, but he played. I mean,
it took some pieces falling in the right place.
I mean, his second season is where he went into the doghouse.
Either way, it's destined to happen. If you do that with your best receiver,
for sure. But we don't know what's going to happen. Like, we going into this season thinking that everything will be peachy and creamy. Like, we don't know that. Like, anything can happen. So like, just like for Brandon Aiyuk, he had the opportunity to kind of like showcase what he was capable of doing. The one thing that was hindering Brandon Aiyuk was his run blocking ability. So now you're gonna be losing that too. So like you're talking about with a rookie. That's some big shoes to fill. He might be able to fill the receptions per game. He might not be able to fill the yardage per game. He might not be able to fill like the touchdowns if he gets those. But I get where you're going with this, but
this man runs routes on par with Devontae Adams. Like Brandon Aiyuk runs routes on the level of Devontae Adams and Larry Fitzgerald-esque, right? And he blocks just as good as Jawan Jennings. And we can't get this guy consistent targets. Like he's in a spot that's just gonna.
I just think that's the way the team is made, Mike. I think it's different. I don't think this team. First of all, Brandon Aiyuk could be mad all he wants, but he's under contract. That's number one. Number two, at the end of the day, like it's just the way the team is built. This team is not gonna stay this way. Like they're gonna be losing some players at some point. So having all these weapons, the George Kittles, the Deebo Samuels, the Christian McCaffreys, them dudes is gonna eventually get older, like right. And so like, maybe the system changes a little bit. I mean, it's something we don't know, but maybe it does. To where I don't know. It's so weird to have this conversation because we grew up watching Jerry Rice work with John Taylor, and then Jerry Rice work with Terrell Owens.
Yeah, you want to know what I ain't gonna say it.
I mean, cool. Other than the head coaching being the difference, but that's what we grew up watching, is what I'm saying. So it's not like, but did the running backs do what Christian McCaffrey did? Did the tight ends do what George Kittle did?
We literally have Roger Craig do it. Yes, they did. They did.
I don't think they did it to the extent like I don't think our tight ends were like that. I love Brent Jones. I love those dudes, but they wasn't.
Brent Jones was a 1,000-yard guy.
Wasn't George Kittle though.
But that's even further in my point. We can never expect to see more from him. This just the last time we saw him on the field, bro. It was 3 receptions. It was 2 for Kittle. If you don't have the balls to pass around at that point in the time, when is it ever going to be an opportunity? It's not going to exist as long as Deebo is here and Christian McCaffrey are here. He's just a highly paid decoy on the field.
They all are. The only person that's going to be consistent, well, I can't even say that. They all are highly paid decoys. But that's the point. Like, you want that, right? You as a coach, like, because you want to be able to create ways or more ways for your team to trump the defense. So how do they game plan for all of these weapons? Now, like I said, Aiyuk is under contract. So regardless of how he feel about the situation, he's signed for $14.1 million this upcoming season. I don't know if the Niners want to rock with that number. That's a big number. I know the cap's going up, but I don't know if they want to solidify 14 point something million dollars into a wide receiver. Would that be the most that they've had that they've used on the 5th-year option? Because I remember they did Mike McGlinchey, and his wasn't that. I can't remember what his number was. I felt like it was 10 million or something, but it might have been high.
Yeah, I don't remember. 10 sounds about
I
right.
felt like it was 10. They didn't exercise it with Kinlaw. They exercised it with Aiyuk. But I think they did that in lieu to look to get a deal done. So, like, let's say I want to get a deal done with you, but this kid doesn't want to play here. Like, how does that how does that change things? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that.
Well, so now me and my agent want to come and sit and talk to you. 14.1 is the base now. We got that. Okay, cool. We hear you. We appreciate it. We want 3 years of that. So now you got to take that 14 and you got to triple it. All right. So now you at 42 million. Okay. We also want some incentives because this 5 receptions a game, and look at the routes I'm out here running. And they're going to pull up the Rich Madrid thing in a game that Spagnuolo admitted I'm shadowing Brandon Aiyuk. I'm not going to let him beat us. And he was still cooking that defense that way.
Yeah. But
now I'm going to sit here and say, we want to be involved in the game more.
But then, look, I don't want to talk about the blame game, but at the end of the day, like, that comes down to
you asked how you negotiate.
No, I do, but I'm just, when you bring that stuff up, it sounds like it's more like he wasn't utilized, he wasn't part of the game plan, but for some reason Brock didn't execute to get him involved. And so, like, now we talk about the quarterback actually missing Brandon Aiyuk, literally wide open. That's a problem. And then we're talking about, was he told to do that or not? So, like, it just brings all these problems, because Brandon Aiyuk can come back and be like, that ain't my fault. I still was open. Like that's if I'm Brandon Aiyuk's representation, bro, I was open, shadowed, bracketed, doubled, you name it. I still got open. You didn't get me the ball.
That's what they're supposed to say. So now we want some incentives. At least we want some targets. We can't guarantee receptions. None of us can, right? Like he threw it to him wide open, and it was just
guarantee receptions, but there'd be reception incentives in new contracts.
Right? Yes, they do. They do put the incentives in there, right? We can't guarantee receptions, but we can guarantee that I'm part of a game plan. You know, out of 60-something snaps, can my guy get 7 targets? You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, but that seems perplexed a little bit, right? Because now it's got to be manufactured. And what if those what if they force throws? What if now coaches, the front office ain't going for that shit. I can tell you that right now. I'm just saying, you still got to play because you still signed 5th-year option. We own your rights.
And like he said, whatever happens is gonna happen. I'm here until I'm not.
It's just crazy, yo.
So what do you think? What do you think happens with Brandon Aiyuk come August when the dust settles?
Well, I mean,
don't say August. Let's say September 1st. Do you think that? What do you think is happening with him?
If Brandon Aiyuk makes it past trade season, they're working on an extension. So this is all this conversation is null and void. This is exactly what it's supposed to be like. We're gonna have these tough conversations, but if Brandon Aiyuk makes it past the draft, he's going to be a 49er for the next 3 years.
If I'm Brandon Aiyuk and his team, I'm saying, hey, Niners, trade me to somebody, and y'all can get a first rounder out of me. I think Brandon Aiyuk could get a first round pick out of him. Yeah. They know the salary cap already, and that team will work on an extension. Trade me somewhere. Hopefully, y'all can get another good wide receiver. Now y'all have 2 first rounders. And that's where I'm starting if I'm Brandon Aiyuk and his team.
Look, all I said, like I said, the only way I'm trading Brandon Aiyuk is if the offer is the first round pick and something else. Because I don't think the Niners, from a business sense, monetary wise, it could be wise, but they could also work out an extension and make the money work too. So like, the money ain't it for me. It's more it's more gonna come down to really Brandon Ayuk and his team. And you know the San Francisco 49ers, they're going to load the ball of the hell of this contract, though. Like this contract is gonna be as minimum as they can get without trying to offend them, or they might send that offensive contract to Brandon Ayuk. You know what I'm saying?
The Bears call you with the number 9 pick because they got the number 1 pick also.
They give me the number. I think I did this. I would ask for the number 9 pick and something else.
Okay. All right.
So give me a first, and give me a third because we could use another third.
What about the Bengals? Bengals at 18. Bengals say we'll give you 18 and we'll give you our first third round pick.
No.
18 too far back?
It depends on what the Niners are looking to draft. It's so tough, right? Because like me personally, like if I had a higher pick in this draft, if I'm picking top 15, I really need to move into the top 15, Mike, because I really need a certain player on this team. I'm really looking for one player in this whole draft. I think it solves the 49ers problems. So if I can move up and I can find a way to beat out the Bears are weird. I definitely would want to trade with the Bears because you said they got the first pick and the 9th pick.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely would want to make that trade. Now, I don't know if I'll be reaching for a guy like Jackson Powers Johnson, the center out of Oregon, but I don't care because if the Bears, I feel like the Bears, they just let their center go and they need a center.
They need a center. They need wide receiver. Like they need it.
Right. And they might get the quarterback first. So like, and they might be trading with Atlanta to trade Justin Fields and get some. I don't know. It's going to be crazy. But for me, if I'm a Niner, like the only way I'm trading Brandon Aiyuk, obviously, is if I know I can move up to get a true piece. And the Niners are going to build in the trenches in this draft. So, like you said, there's receivers in this draft that can do things that can get you 4 or 5 receptions a game.
Yeah. Tyreek Hill went for 29 overall. I mean, there was 4 other draft picks, but the highest first round pick was 29 because he's from the Dolphins. I don't think Brandon Aiyuk is going to get much more than he can get higher, but he's not going to get those other 4 picks that were underneath it. You went 29 and 50.
And I'm glad you made that comment because everybody's saying Brandon Aiyuk can't get traded. The Chiefs traded Tyreek Hill, the best receiver in the NFL.
Yeah, a friend. They still rock with each other.
Right. So just let it sink in, man. It's nothing personal. It's strictly business, yo.
Yeah.
It's strictly business. So there's a bunch of receivers, like I said, you could get in this draft. I just know if the 49ers don't trade Brandon Aiyuk on Thursday night of the draft, they're going to look to get an extension.
You think that early determines it?
Because
by then free agency is done.
Yeah, and then you're into the second round of the draft. I'm not trading Brandon Aiyuk for a second round pick, and I don't want a future first round pick.
Right.
That doesn't help the team right now.
Yeah. Okay.
So I just want people to realize Aiyuk can be traded. People might be mad. People will be upset. It's almost like you have to think about who's the better factor. And I know a lot of people gonna be like, well, they should have the Deebo Samuel, kind of relates to the Eric Armstead of the team, and Brandon Aiyuk is more like the Forrest Buckner, and it's because it's just the way the cookie crumble. Like Brandon Aiyuk could be pricing himself out, but it's not even free agency time for him yet. That's the crazy part. He's still he's still under contract for 1 season, bro.
He tried to keep his costs down.
That's what the Niners were doing.
They tried to keep his costs down.
And nobody believed me when I said stuff like that. You get what I'm saying?
I'm so mad that just hit me at the end of the episode. That is crazy.
Mike, I mean, Collie says BA isn't going to command Tyreek money. That's by design from the team. And people that have been watching BA that got bread will pay BA money because they believe he's a true number one wide receiver.
Yeah.
So what he commands and what people are willing to pay, that's a totally different thing.
And we got to remember the market is the market. Jimmy Garoppolo wasn't number one quarterback money, but when the Niners had to pay him, they had to pay him, right? And now you flash forward, that's pennies in the bucket compared to what the quarterback contracts are now. So, you know, we got to keep that in mind. The market is the market. Brandon Aiyuk will, if he hits free agency or if it comes to a bidding war, he'll go out there and he'll get close to $29-30 million a year like Tyreek Hill because that's what the market says is the cost for that position right now.
Bingo. Now, like I said, the thing that the Niners got going for him, $14.1 million, 5th-year option. That's what the Niners got going for him. They really
got him for half price. They have a number one wide receiver for half price.
There it is.
You can't let that go, right?
I don't know. I don't know if I would let it go. Like, I don't know if I would let it go. And
that's also now that's a valuable trade piece, though.
That's why I said if he's not traded by Thursday of the draft, Mike, on Thursday, because that's when the draft starts, right? Thursday night.
Yeah.
If he's not traded on Thursday night and we get into Friday, Aiyuk's going to be a 49er for the next 3 to 4 years. That's how I look at it. Now, I see Uncle Bill says Kyle's not changing the system. It's not about him changing the system. It's about him changing the way his system works. So you're right. The system's not going to change, but he needs to find a way to get his guys these targets. But it's impossible when you got too many. Could that be the issue with the 49ers? That's crazy. Could they have too many weapons?
Yes, they can. And that's why you stop running the ball. Man, yeah. Yes, you can have too many weapons. You can have too many weapons. It's one thing so that way your players don't price themselves out of your budget book, like what we're seeing with Brandon Aiyuk happen right now, right? Like, okay, we don't want, but you can't hide the talent forever. Brandon Aiyuk with significantly less receptions was a top 10 wide receiver this year.
Well, he still had the best numbers from a wide receiver. The only thing he lacked in was receptions and total yards.
Was total catches and yards. That's what I'm saying. But yards per catch and all that stuff, the efficiency of Brandon Aiyuk, you can't hide it. You can't hide it. The league is seeing what he is. He is seeing what he is. You can't hide it. So, yes, there is a such thing as too many weapons. You can start to outsmart yourself. Sometimes you just got to get back to the basics. Hey, Travis Kelce going to go to the sideline and yoke up the coach. Yo, we losing. What the fuck are we doing? I need the ball more. And what does Andy Reid do? Okay, you know what? You're right. Sometimes you just need the players run to the side. Hey, remember that crazy play that we drew up for Tyreek Hill deep down the middle of the field? You think we got time to do that real quick? Sometimes you got to trust it.
And we've seen that. I just don't know if Brandon Aiyuk feels comfortable doing that. And maybe
what he don't. You can see Brandon Aiyuk and what he's comfortable with. I'm a head down, run my route type of guy. If the ball come to me, cool. If it don't, it don't.
Maybe he need to get a little bit more different.
Oh, please. He already been in the doghouse. He know what that's like. He know he can't be different.
Nah, that's not gonna get him in the doghouse. I don't think that would get him in the doghouse. I just don't. We've seen certain play. He could do it in his own way. He ain't got to be all flamboyant and boisterous out like how Debo would do it. You know what I'm saying? He could do it in his own way.
You remember yesterday's show?
Yesterday's show? No, I don't.
We just did a show yesterday, and maybe I was hallucinating. You told me Kittle made a comment at the podium.
Oh yeah,
and that's why he only got 2 yards in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but Kyle ain't afraid of never mind.
Yo, you about to start. All right. I see. Okay. You're not gonna get me. Nope. You're not gonna get me.
Kyle feel like he could take the wrestlers.
I ain't got nothing else. I'm cool. I'm done. You're not getting me. Nope.
Man, the cough only comes when I do this show. But no, I'm seriously, bro. Like, look, It's gonna be the talk for the remaining the offseason. It's the number one conversation we're gonna have to have, though. I just need us to get through the draft. We get through the draft, I think we can stop talking about it for a while. I think he'll be safe.
He got to get there, though. He got to get there. Right now, he is a valuable piece to trade. Like I said, you get a number one wide receiver. It's all on film. Look at how efficient he is. Look at how few targets he has. Look at how many receptions he has. Look at the production. He could bring this to your system with more touches and run routes like this. And you can show him the film, and he's half the price, less than half the price of Tyreek Hill. Come on, man. He's got the quicks. He's got the hands. He's a contested catcher. Then he's a bargaining chip right now, in favor of staying and in favor of going.
Yeah.
The Niners have a value in keeping him, and they have a value if they want to move him. It's a rare commodity. It's a rare commodity, man. Gotta do what you gotta do. I think Brandon Aiyuk, if I had to pick one right now, I think he'll be here. That could be wishful thinking. If I'm Brandon Aiyuk, I want out.
He's
never going to get the money.
The money or the touches.
That he's going to be the NFL's greatest what could have been story. I don't want to go out like that.
Yeah. Which builds up the frustration and everything like that. So yeah, man. Great show, Mike. It's always great. It's always great. Can't see what we got to cook up for tomorrow. Whatever pops off overnight. We'll figure something out, though.
It's going to be fun, man. Listen, we want to thank y'all for checking us out, man. Wayne, what you got cooking on later? Anything else today?
No, I'm done.
I will be live later tonight. I'm going to try to do something else. I got to see how this medication got me feeling. But I will try to do something tonight. I'm probably going to do some presser breakdowns. Apparently, it was some good stuff. Every time we talk, you're telling me about something else somebody said. So maybe I'll just sit down and watch some pressers live and give my thoughts and reactions on it. Something light, where I don't have to do too much. Come on, Derek. And, we'll go from there. So,
all right, bro. Sounds good.
All right, man. Guys, listen. No team is safe when the Niners are on the prowl. Mike, that's Wayne. And this is No Harm, No Foul.
Peace.